we transited from the industrial age. I think the industrial age, we all know, an age of manufacturing, an age of accelerating processes. The main objective of the industrial age was automation, to make things in a fast and in an efficient manner. And how it was done is through automation, through a process of automation. The whole industrial revolution sought to seek convenience for the people. Then from that stage, it moved to the age of information. When we transition to the age of information, the main objective is to create synthesis. And what is the value that is aimed for? The value is basically clarity. So you try to move from industrial age to the information age, so that convenience will also create clarity through the information and through the synthesis of all this information. But now we are living in the age of imagination, and the age of imagination is an age which is the age of the artists, of the creators. And what is the value? In fact, what is the medium that is used? It is creativity. And what is the value that is sought to be achieved? It is connections. And I think this present age that we are living is a very exciting age, because it is the age of imagination. From age of information, we have transitioned to the age of imagination. And imagination is about creativity, and creativity leads to connectivity and to greater connection. Positive energy. I think a sense of positive energy is being felt and is being experienced in this room, with participation from across the borders as well. As we were told in the introductory remarks by Professor Prakash Kishore, that we also have participants from countries like Thailand and South Korea and Sri Lanka and also South Africa, along with our participation from our neighboring states and also our own indigenous artists from the state. I think it will be a very exciting and a very impactful, as well as a very meaningful cultural exchange in the next 4 to 5 days. I think a word of gratitude goes to Professor Panda and the Icssr for having hosted this program here and for having taken the lead to steer and to anchor this program along with the Positive Art Foundation. It is a much needed program, and also it's very timely. We all know that we have suffered 2 years of pandemic. The last 2 years has been very challenging and very difficult for all of us, especially for the art community, because art is about it's about experiencing all the 5 senses: touch, feel, smell, sight. So unless artists are able to engage with the audience, with the wider audience, through these 5 senses, it becomes something incomplete if we're not able to meet, not able to exchange ideas, not able to interact. But I'm glad that the program has kicked off and that you're here to talk about art, to talk about the cross-cultural identities, and also about initiating this dialogue through the medium of art. I'm also happy to note that there are 8 participating universities from within the country and also outside the country who have taken active role, who will be taking active role in this 5 days dialogue.
Objective of our artist policy, we require a lot of this cultural capital, which people in the field of art like you who have come here itself can give us, so that you connect the hearts. Art, literature, connect the heart. They're a great leveler. I'm saying all across the world it has been proved. At one point of time, I still remember actually, even on the issues like poverty or on development, and it kind of sense, the artists are creative people. They have a sixth sense with Sometimes many of us as economists, we do not have. Historically, if you look at, when I talk about art, I talk about art in a very broad sense, including literature. I love literature. I read a lot of literature. I still remember when poverty was an issue at one point of time, even in Europe also. Thomas Gray came up with a very, very important poem, and I just remember a few lines when he says, "Full many gems of purest rays in the dark unfathomed caves of the ocean bear. Full many flowers are born unseen and waste their sweetness in the desert air. Chill penury raised their noble race and froze the genial current of the soul." So he was talking about the cascading effect of poverty, how just like snow, it freezes the creative arts of people. That's the cascading effect of poverty. And economists, developmental practitioners, politicians, all of them, they do work on this issue of poverty. But sensitizing people to the cascading effect of the poverty, the way art does it, the way literature does it, I think economics, or for that matter management, or for that matter statecraft in that sense actually doesn't do it. So there comes the role. That's the powerful role that artists and the people from the field of literature have played, and in this part of the country and also the whole country. And I personally feel we have not broadened the scope of social science. Art, literature at one point of time were not being included under the domain of social science. But today, I think they're at the same. I consider that art and culture and literature, they are at the center of social science. In fact, social science as such, as we all understand, it comes through a social process. And look at actually any social process. Even in I am an economist basically by training. But when I analyze the development, or for that matter, lack of development in particular part of the world or a particular part of a region, and in particular in the context of the Northeast, where we are all here itself, much of the underdevelopment that we find, they are basically not because of economic factors now, they are more because of institutional factors. And that's where I think art, culture, literature, social science, they do play a very, very important role in giving us that social capital, in giving us that what you call the cultural capital.